Hello. Sorry, guys. I'm just making sure that my correct mic is up here. Up here. I don't know what that means. Making sure that my correct mic is selected. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? So, guys, I'm just warning you that you guys may be disappointed because I'm much more annoyed. Little teaser. I'm a lot more annoyed by the discourse around AOC than I am by what she actually did. And I see people are coming to the chat. They are mentioning that they can hear me, which is good. They are mentioning Rose McGowan, which I'll get to later. Also, make sure that you check out the Rose McGowan clips that I already released. Also, some people, I shouldn't even mention it because they're such losers. But some people are like, oh, Katie Halper interviews Rose McGowan right before, week before she, whatever, does whatever for Larry Elders, which I think he's a terrible human being. I'll say that the best thing I can ever say about Gavin Newsom is that he's so bad that I prefer him to Larry Elders. But I'm not saying this to cover my ass because I still support Rose McGowan and her voice. But I didn't know that when that interview was from months ago, first of all, and I clipped it and released parts of it because because of the Me Too stuff, the Time's Up stuff, which no one is talking about. Anyway, that's what I'd like to say for now. I'm just saying that because people are commenting on this. I'm not crazy about my light, you see, speaking of Hollywood. And we are going to be talking about AOC's outfit. And we're gonna not only do that, but we're actually going to have a guest on. So I'm just going to bring on that guest if she's ready. When she gives me a thumbs up, I'll give her a couple. She's adjusting her setup a little bit. So I'll give her some time to do that. Let me show you guys some of the amazing outfits that were worn. So I don't even know what the Met Gala is, but it's a thing apparently. It happens. And okay, yes, guys, hot take or reality check or saying the painfully obvious. Met Gala is a place that really rich people go. And I'm so out of touch that I don't know who most of the people here are. But here's the Met Gala. Some show-stopping looks from the okay, Twitter. Why found me now? Met Gala 2021 starting soon. I thought it already happened. I think it already happened. In fact, I know it already happened. But here's what I was trying to read. Show-stopping looks from the red carpet. After a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Met Gala made its comeback on Monday with guests dressed according to the theme In America, a lexicon of fashion. Okay, no idea what that means. And I don't think anyone who put that together knew what that meant either. This year's hosts were actor Timothée Chalamet, musician Billie Eilish. I actually don't know. I mean, I know the Eilish. I don't know how to say it. Poet Amanda Gorman and tennis star Naomi Osaka. Scroll down to catch up with red carpet looks. The co-chairs Billie Eilish in old Hollywood glamour. Okay, so here is Billie. I keep wanting to say Billie Elliot or Billie Idol, but it's actually Billie Eilish. If anyone wants to spell out how to pronounce her last name, if it's Eilish like Eyelet, let me know. She looks very fragile. She looks like she's about to break. Don't want that to happen. I know she sings a bad boy or something, which is honestly, that song sucks so much. I kind of wouldn't mind. I don't want anything that bad to happen to her, but if she like fell on those steps, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing ever to happen in a very non-violent, pleasant whoops way. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of way. Nothing that actually would make me feel bad or like I said anything problematic. I'm sure she's fine. Cause if she weren't, I would know. Right. I also thought that was Lady Gaga, but let's see who else do we got in this whatchamacallit thing. Okay, the real Iman. Oh, like the real Iman? Look at her. I gotta follow her. You're welcome, Iman. Things are really changing for Iman. She doesn't have that many followers. Guys, follow Iman. I'm gonna find out something terrible about her right after I endorse her. Okay, then we got J-Lo, stunning. Let's get loud for J-Lo's stunning Met Gala look. Guys, I'm so happy that things are back to normal. It felt like the world had stopped when I didn't go to the Met Gala. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't real to me. Like, it wasn't a real world. So, yes, that is true. Iman is David Bowie's widow, but she's also a model, an actor. I'm sure she does lots of other stuff that's important. In fact, she does like political stuff. But J-Lo, okay. I don't know. This is some Wild Wild West thing, apparently. Someone tweeted how the West was won, and it was won. When I say someone, it's like a New York Times fashion person. Okay, Lil Nas getting extra credit. The industry baby star has 2 costume changes in Met Gala. Okay, that is impressive. Oh, Grimes. Oh, poor Grimes. I thought that was Ganesh, by the way. It's not, but doesn't that kind of look like Ganesh? Like there's a little Ganesh there, like Ganesh meets Snuffleupagus. It looks like a masked Ganesh. I'm just saying. Okay, so but guys, we're gonna go through a lot more. We're gonna go through all this and more, including the thing that you're actually here for. Now that is a nice dress. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about fashion, but that is a nice dress, and that is a distraction from terrible stuff in the world, and we're getting played totally. And this is bread and circus, but that's a nice dress. All right. By the way, could you guys hear something? Could you hear not something? Could you hear not me? Could you hear the audio from that? Because I want to make sure that I would just like to know whether or not the video is playing, the audio is playing from it. Also, if anyone, if Phantomus Fantas is here, I would love for someone to. Crap. I tweeted out something about Larry David, and I said this almost makes me forgive him for supporting Mayor Pete. I don't know if you saw that, but I really need for someone to like screen grab that video of LD. Anyone? And people now, they're coming here. They think that I'm going to really drag AOC for a dress. It's not really what I'm going to do. Just, you'll see. But anyone know where that Larry David thing is? Because I have it in Instagram. Let me just see. Hold on. 1 second, guys. I'm doing this now because I don't want to be distracted when our guest is here, and I'm very excited about our guest. God, I got a lot of retweets today, which is nice, but it's like, right? It's always when you're looking for that thing, right? It's like when you want a lot of retweets, you don't get them. And then when you're looking for that one thing, I did retweet it. I remember because I was annoyed because I wish that Instagram had a way to, okay, KT helps. Forgive, I think I said. Yes. Okay, I got it. Okay, here it is, guys. I'm gonna put this in the StreamYard. Can someone do this? Can someone please, like, I just need that screen grab, that clip. It's so good. Or I guess I could play it here. Let me open Instagram. I'll play it there. Okay, I'll do that. All right. Okay, I can do that. Great. This is amazing. Okay. All right. So, guys, I'm going to bring in our guest. Our guest. She is making her Katie Halper show debut. Okay, by the way, yes, y'all, if you were invited to the Met Gala, you'd fucking go in a heartbeat. Okay, I would go. I don't care. I would wear the dress I'm wearing, which is a very affordable dress that I think I got at where did I get it? TJ Maxx. Sponsorship, please. TJ Maxx. I would go in this. Of course I would go. And I don't think it's bad that she went. And I don't think it's bad that she wore the dress that she wore. And we're going to get into that. But first, and I'm sorry I paused very awkwardly and inappropriately as in like it just doesn't go with what we're talking about. Not inappropriately, problematically, on Lupita. But I'm going to bring in our guest, and she has a lot of thoughts on this stuff. And let me just tell you something. This is someone who I've been wanting to have on the show for a while, and we're finally making it happen. She is an OG Justice Dem. She's a scientist, a mom, And she now runs Future Generations as their executive director to elect progressives to all levels of office. And she'll tell us about that organization and what they're doing. And you can also follow her on Twitter at Rosa Calderon, and that is RozaCalderon. So put your hands together. Hello.
Hey, that is so funny. Thank you, Katie, so much for having me here. I think it's kind of funny that you say that I have a lot of thoughts on this because even though I love fashion, I am really not that into fashion, I guess you could say.
No, but like when I said thoughts, I mean on politics in general, on like co-opting progressivism, on gender, on the left, all that stuff. So, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think the whole thing with AOC's outfit right now is.
Can I pause you for 1 second? I'm so sorry. Just 1 second, Rosa. 1 second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I shouldn't feed the trolls. But I'm just gonna feed one troll. Katie, if you didn't make any money from saying these things, then you wouldn't be saying them. I'm just curious, James. This is a safe space, and I'm not far from censoring you. I'm inviting you to have a dialogue. So tell me what these things are. I'll give you 30 seconds because you are a very opinionated man. You're a man of your. Okay, you're not trolling. So tell me, James. This is great. This is dialogue. James, tell me what the opinions that I don't have are that I'm expressing because I'm being paid to do so. And James, I say this with nothing but respect because honestly, again, you are not a troll, you're not a hater, you're here because you like this show and you said that I have certain opinions that I'm saying because I'm paid for them. So I know, James, you advocating for the Met Gala and all the protesters and politicians attending and grifting. Okay. So you think I'm advocating for the Met Gala because I said I would go to that? I would go to a Young Republicans meeting for the content. It would be great content. I have great sound bites that I'd attract, that I'd record, and I would do it for that reason. So that's one thing. Second of all, I don't know what this big Met Gala I've already dragged everyone there, and I'll continue to do so. So I don't know who's paying me. Like, who's the big lobby that's paying me to do this? And I know I shouldn't even respond to this. So I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, Rosa, that you had to be interrupted by James. You're right. You know what? You're right. And I didn't even get anything funny out of it. And you know what? He is a troll. Get out there. Wait, where's let Katie host the Met Gala? Yes. Yes. In fact, if that person's really on, maybe we should bring her into the chat in a couple minutes. But first, I very rudely interrupted Rosa. And I'm not going to blame it on James. And then I get people, thank you. And you know what? I say this for Stop the Zeal. That's why I say this stuff. So I'm going to keep going and say that this episode of the Katie Halper Show is brought to you 100% by the Met Gala, which is going to pay me in admission to the Met Gala next year. That's just my prediction. Okay, I'm sorry. So please go back. Please go back to what you were saying. I'm really sorry. Rosa is the best. Everyone show Rosa some love. And sorry. Crap. I hate when I try to click on one. Okay, everyone, this is me showing Rosa love, which is weird because I can make noise right now. But everyone in the audience, do that. Do something with your emojis. Okay, go. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. I think that she has a huge platform already. She can tweet something out and make a statement. I don't think that the Met Gala was absolutely necessary, but like you said, I think realistically, most people, if they're going to be invited, they're going to go. I think that she probably came to that realization and chose to make a statement out of it. And you know what, at the end, I don't really know how it transpired, why she's there, if it was the designer of the dress who invited her, but even the people who are invited are ready to pay the fee to enter the Met Gala because of the way that it supports the arts. And I understand that like sometimes charity isn't enough. And I think that is one of the big ways that major players, when it comes to money and politics, try to mask themselves as philanthropists by supporting the arts when they're really causing a lot of damage. For me, essentially, I guess I'm more mad that she wore a dress that says tax the rich. Eat the rich would have been a good option, but also fashion is not sustainable. That would have been a tremendous statement to make at the Met Gala. I think that there was also a quote. They asked her, why the dress? And the quote was about I guess, really realizing what the Met Gala means to women of color who are working class women. But reality, strikes again, and women of color who are working class are not going to be at the Met Gala unless they are in the service sector, So I think that was in itself a bad quote. Then you have Pod Save America talking about, that she is herself now a working class congresswoman, but we got to be realistic about wages and the fact that the women of color that she is talking about they're not sitting at the table at the Met Gala with her to discuss these issues.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, you can't beat him. No, you just can't win with these people being my audience. Criticize a Republican for a change. Thank you. I'll do that in about a couple seconds. You may have seen me do that today all day when I was talking about I was going to say Joe Manchin. I forgot he's actually not a Republican. But sure, you want me to criticize Republican? I'll tell you how terrible George Bush is and how his rehabilitation is offensive and he has more blood on his hands than any other U.S. president. And we should probably talk about that more. But we're not talking about that. And the irony is that this person who's all triggered by what we're saying, I'm here to basically say that I think that this is not the thing to be mad at AOC for. And I agree. I think fashion isn't sustainable. That would have been a great thing to say. And can you tell us a little bit about that? Why it's not sustainable?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fashion changes every season. You kind of have to keep up with the Jonesies. It's also absolutely unaffordable for most of us trying to even pretend that we can wear the Gucci belts and all the brand clothes that are out there right now. It's just unsustainable. Most of us can't afford it. And with over 70% of the US making less than $50,000 a year, I mean, you just can't buy your Louboutins, to go to work, so those are the big things. And I did see somebody say that JLo was there and she's a woman of color, but JLo is not the working class. So this is not the people that we're talking about. AOC is also a woman of color, but she is no longer the working class. The people that she said that she was there to speak on behalf of, they will never, ever attend the Met Gala and have a seat at the table. They will be, like I said, in the service sector. They may be the people bringing out the drinks, but they're not going to be sitting at the table and talking about the issues that they face every single day when it comes to, income inequality or access to quality education for their children. So those are the kind of things that I think there was a mismark. And I think most people are focusing on the plain hypocrisy that is just too much to kind of look past.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that what you just said is, of course, there are going to be people of color there. That's a sign of, it's a symbol of progress. I don't think it's in itself, that's not the achievement that I think we should be. Again, that's a symbol of other kinds of improvements, but that's not the end game. That's not the end. Sorry, I'm so bad at sports. I keep messing this up. That is not, we got to keep our eye on the prize. And that should be everyone should be able to go to these things, I guess. But that's not what we're in this for. So that the 1% is more diverse. That's not my interest, at least. Some people openly do that. Some people just openly want a 1%, a rainbow 1%, as opposed to just burning that shit up or to put it very, not to put too fine a point on it or anything. But I think that that's, to me, the reason that the thing that justifies going to the Met Gala, in my opinion, and I've never been, and I still don't really know what it is. And I think I learned about it, someone mentioned it to me in high school, I think. And I remember having no idea what they were talking about. But to the extent that she's standing up for people of color and women of color, I think it's not in her visibility at that gala. Maybe on a representation level, maybe I don't want to speak. I'm not going to speak for how it's perceived or how it comes across. But on a substantive level, I think that you could argue that she has a big platform, like you said. People are now talking about tax the rich. Like, to me, I think that it's actually kind of a responsible thing to do. Like, we are, right now they've like kicked off this big battle around the infrastructure bill and the reconciliation, right? She's been kind of consistently pushing for, she's trying to basically hold the infrastructure bill hostage, right? If the reconciliation bill isn't passed, and that's the bill that has really some of the stuff that I think everyone in this chat would consider to be the gold, right? So paid sick leave, universal child care, cheaper long-term care, 80% clean electricity, the PRO Act, et cetera, right? And those things should be the bare minimum, right? So those are some of the things that would be in the reconciliation bill. I think that you could argue that her going and using this, and it's clearly a media opportunity. I think that's what sometimes people don't get, is like, you using a media opportunity, a cultural moment, your access to something like this. What else could she have done? And I'm not saying like, what was she supposed to do? But if she didn't go, okay, no one's talking about this, right? If she goes and she wears something apolitical, then she's canceled like to high hell by a lot of the people.
That's a huge point that you're making right there. Like, here we are serving our best commie realness. But at the same time, had AOC shown up to the Met Gala in just a pretty dress, I would have actually been pissed. And like I said, if she had this opportunity and she really wanted to go because she just wanted to go, I prefer for her to make a statement than to just show up. And I have seen her at other events where she is just showing up. So I'd rather her make a statement than not.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, I do think that anything she can do, like to shove this into the discourse, is a good thing. And this isn't even about me being like jumping to her defense. I mean, I'm critical of her in lots of cases, and I think we should be critical. I think that like we also can be kind of like smarter about politics, though, because we should be, I think that like if she didn't care or talk about the infrastructure bill or the reconciliation bill, and the only thing she did was like wear a dress, that would be weird and like irresponsible. I think that, to me, I just don't get it. And people are like, well, this is a bunch of rich people. Like, of course it's a bunch of rich people. Like, she's doing this. She knows who her audience is here. I mean, the woman is extremely media savvy. Say what you will about her. And I feel really bad for her haters, who are like the gross haters, the sexist haters, and the racist haters, and the right-wing haters. The guys have to work so hard. She's, not to be superficial, but whatever, we are talking about the Met Gala. She is so photogenic. Like, do you realize how easy it is to take an unflattering photo of someone when you have hours of footage of them online? And like, they can't even do that. They always have to go with like a cartoon because she's just, the camera loves her. Okay, kind of a relevant point, but not really, because politics is optics. And the fact that she's an attractive woman is something that I say, and no, like that has been she's incredibly photogenic, videogenic, and that's also helpful for the cause. Now, of course, you can go at it another way. You can be the anti-charisma guy, like Bernie Sanders, who, is like super crotchety, and that in itself, and like couldn't care less about fashion, and that has its own appeal that works in a different direction. But I do think that, not to sound like an old geezer, like chiding people, I do think we can be smarter about our critiques of politics. And of course, these people are rich. Like, everyone knows that. She made a strategic decision, and you can agree with it or disagree with it without pretending that she somehow is a hypocrite for going to a rich person's venue. Like, that's very much within the premise. It's an incredibly rich, privileged thing. And she chose, okay, I'll go and I'll wear a dress that looks very cute, by the way. Again, neither here nor there, but very flattering cut. Also, we forgot to mention, this is a throwback to Joy Villa, who's like a real Trump supporter, and she wore let me just find this. She did some music too. She's a conservative singer, conservative country singer.
She wore it at the Grammys or something like that.
Where did she wear it? Hold on, let's see. She wears like fetus dresses. She wears like pro-Trump dresses. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, she wore a Trump dress to the Grammys. Here, let's take a look at this. Whoops, no. And then we're going to talk about what you are working on, which is almost as important. I'm just kidding, which is much more important than this. So here's what she wore to the Grammys. Can you guys see this? Look at that. You just got to see that Trump 2020?
Yeah.
Impeached and reelected on the back. Huh?
Is this the same one where it says "build the wall" on the back?
No, that's a different one. Look at that amazing accessory work, though. You got to admit. Okay, here's her fetus dress, where she is saying "choose life." And why does she have a mega? This is interesting. What's with the gramophone or whatever that's called? Then she has a little fetus here, which is weird. But there's a lot. I like the nuance and subtlety of this one because it's not really clear, you know. I'm just kidding. And then she has this "Make America Great Again," and this is a oh my god, an image of a baby and a uterus and the phrase "choose life." Then this is brick pattern "build the wall" spelled out in red lettering. Oh no, sorry. This is "Make America Great Again," which is just, you're like, this is your generic "Make America Great Again" thing, Trump. And then this is the real one. Okay. This is to the 61st. You're right. This was the Grammys. So she wore a silver dress embellished with a brick pattern and "build the wall" spelled out in red lettering, inspired by Pink Floyd's 1979 album The Wall, as barbed wire on the shoulders. She accessorized with a spiky headpiece and a red handbag that read "Make America Great Again." That's so weird. Anyway, so do you see here, "build the wall"? That's what, oh, wow, wait. Then there is also a hot pink latex gown that read "Fuck Planned Parenthood" on the bodice and "unplanned" across the ruffled train. Pro-life is pro-woman. Okay, here's a little. So we got a nice. So this was, so, you know, speaking as a fashion art historian, okay, that's not her. Who is that? Impeach this?
I don't know who that is.
I thought it was Owen Wilson at first, but it's not that. It's not him. So AOC was doing a deep cut. Oh my God, they're MAGA pop stars. Wow. So AOC was doing a deep cut throwback to that Joy Villa dress also, right? You see, like, with the, I don't think Alicia Keys had anything to do with this. Let's see. Oh, that's good. Who's that? I like this person. Do you know who that person is? Let's get her on the show. No war in Iran? How come I never saw that? Vote. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have to get you back
on enough TV to realize who some people are. Just
oh my God, I know.
I need my teenage daughter over here with me.
I know, seriously. I need your teenage daughter over here to help me. But this is, you see, the just in case people, I realize not everyone, maybe people didn't see, but the AOC dress has that font. Actually, people will have seen because it's on the thumbnail to this video, but she has that font on it. But you know, it's just like someone on Twitter tweeted, what was it? Oh my God. All right, I got it. Hold on. Someone at the New York Times tweeted, like, it's a complicated proposition wearing that. It's a complicated proposition. Not really. Like, it's not that complicated because it's an expensive event. She didn't pay for it. She also didn't pay for the dress. So I guess I'm just venting about this because I think we can keep our eye on the ball. And I'm going to be accused of like AOC apology or something. But I'm critical of her when I think she should be criticized. I actually think that more politicians need to be media savvy. We're all talking about this now. People on Twitter are talking about this now. And Vanessa Friedman at the New York Times tweeted, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez attending the $35,000 a ticket Met Gala in a Brother Velli's gown, blaring tax the rich, is a complicated proposition. Which, by the way, that's just like said in, oops, that was the wrong screen. That's just said, you can like hear the Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City voiceover voice. You know what I mean? Like she thinks what she said is really smart. It's like really deep. She just thought of this. Like, wow, she's at an expensive event and it's an expensive article of clothing. Like, yeah, no shit. That's why she's doing that. Like, again, you can criticize her for this, but just know that it's not like she's claiming that she's going to a barbecue.
This is also a way, Katie, to just kind of also dismiss the message entirely by saying,
okay, you're right. Yes, thank you.
You're such a hypocrite. Tax the rich. Sure. How funny is that? And then just move on. Just make it a joke. And again, continuously, the rich continue to get away without ever getting taxed because now it's a joke. So I think it can go both ways. I don't think that her intention was to make it a joke, but I think it's definitely headed in that direction. And that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, we're not good. It's like, I get it if we don't want to. I feel like going to this is kind of like showing up at Congress in a way. It just like goes with sadly, it's just like that's what you do for lots of people. And so the only question is, are you going to do it in a way that like says anything? And again, I'm not like, this just needs to happen all the time. Politicians need to be doing this all the time. They need to be more media savvy. And guys, look, you know who's media savvy? You hate him. We hate to see him. Donald Trump. And I've said that before about AOC, like something that she and Trump understand that doesn't equate them. I mean, Trump was against the TPP. Bernie was against the TPP. That doesn't mean that Bernie's bad. That just meant that the TPP was so fucking shitty. And also bad people dislike things that good people dislike for different reasons. Right. Anyway, but tell us what you are working on. I think everyone learned a lot about the Met Gala. I still don't know what it is. But yes, tell us what you're working on. That was me being self-deprecating, obviously. Yeah.
Someday we'll know what the Met Gala does or where that money goes to.
Seriously.
I'm not too invested, but what I am super invested in is future generations. So I did see a few comments. I was an original Justice Democrat. I ran with AOC with Corey in 2018. But since I ran in one of the reddest districts, so I just chose to take everything that I had learned and just redistribute that information to other candidates who just don't have the resources, who may not get the Justice Democrat endorsement now or brand new Congress, since it's a lot more difficult to get through these channels now. So our hope is to help them with resources, help them to even launch their campaign. One of the things that I struggled with the most when I first decided to run, I didn't even know how to file. So those are the challenges that we go through. Fundraising, of course, is a huge one. It's really, really hard to compete against, of course, the establishment and huge money that comes in. And for us right now, the big struggle is still money, because as we continue to see many progressives who do get into office, many of us become disappointed, and it makes us hold on to our wallets even harder. But our goal is to elect not just in Congress, because we think that true change can happen quickly at the local level. So we are endorsing and supporting candidates from anywhere from the board to city council, and our hope is that we can continue to elect leftist DSA organizers into every level of office. So if you want to check us out, if you want to volunteer, we're completely volunteer, ran and organized. Go to futuregenerations.earth. Futuregenerations.earth.
Okay, great. And you feel free to put that in your little byline thing there. And what is your relationship now with to Justice Dems?
I don't have a relationship with them any longer. So for most of us that ran the first time, either we were, I guess, Justice Democrats again, and some just broke off entirely. But I'm not running again, so I don't have any contact with them since my race. But they were extremely supportive and helpful to me in my race. They were able to give me phone banking and text banking abilities that I just could never have had or afforded with the money that real progressive candidates raise. It's one of the hardest things to run, and those things can cost upwards to like $8,000 to $10,000 a month. So when you're barely fundraising enough to just get on the ballot, things like that just fall through the wayside, and many amazing candidates that you may have never even heard of you will never hear of, because they will lose those races and they may never run again.
And what made you want to run?
For me, I was an activist my whole life, and it was my community that supported me and pushed me into running. I was a single mom, and for me to choose to run, it was like a huge commitment that I had to really think about. And after about 3 months, I finally chose to run. And it was difficult the entire time, though. For most people who do run, who have the resources, they are able to just take the time off work, and they're not really worried about their mortgage. They're not worried about making payments. But the rest of us, we're still living paycheck to paycheck. So having the support from your community, having the support from your loved ones, that was tremendous. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to run at all.
And what are your thoughts on California? That's where you are.
I'm at the same place where you are. I feel like we were sold Gavin Newsom as somebody who was going to come in and give us Medicare for all. That's something that we worked on really hard through SB 52 in California, SB 562 in California, and we never got that. And unfortunately, the alternatives to Gavin Newsom right now are not people that I want to take my chances with or gamble, especially if it looks like it may be Larry, who might be the next best choice, I guess, for some of the voters in California. So I am very concerned. Voting day, election day is actually tomorrow. So if you are a Californian, it is my personal pledge to you to or asking you to vote no on the recall.
Yeah. And again, you don't have to worry. I don't know if it's that clear. But Rose is not exactly like a loyal Dem. She's not.
I'm no longer a Dem.
There you go.
After I had my run-in with the California Democratic Party, I refiled as an independent. So I am an independent. No party preference, California voter.
NPP. And what would you like viewers to know and listeners to know about your so-called run-in with the California Democratic Party? What did that open your eyes to?
Well, they will always tell you that you just have to go through the proper channels, but the proper channels will never, ever get you justice in a system where they are the rulers and the oppressors all at once. So, and I think that we've seen that repeatedly over and over again, from Florida to California, in New York. It's just, we are fighting an uphill battle. And if you do have a run-in with them, make it official. File any complaint, any grievance that you can, so that it is on the record. And that's what I had to do. I had to essentially deal with all the harassment that I had to deal with for over a year and a half, just to be able to file a complaint about their endorsement process, which is mostly a you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours process.
So for people who are listening and don't know your story, can you tell us about it?
Yeah, absolutely. When I chose to run for Congress, I was the only person running at the time. I was the only local person running at the time. And then my district, like many other stories that you hear, was kind of shopped around. Two women one who had no ties to the district and one who had grown up there 25 years prior, chose to move back to the district and run. The Democratic Party at that time, especially in California, was really trying to find millionaires so that they could fund their own races. So the wealthier you were, the more possibilities that they would be supporting you. And you can see that with many, TJ Cox was one of the millionaires that they supported. They even had him move from one district to the next so that he could get elected, and he already lost his reelection. So it was a wasted vote there. Gil Cisneros, another congressman who was also a millionaire, won the lottery. So these are the kind of candidates that the Democratic Party was looking for. And as somebody like myself, I'm a refugee from El Salvador. I came here during the Civil War. I put myself through college. I started my own small business. I am a woman of color, a single mom. You would imagine that I would embody the American dream for the Democratic Party, everything that they've ever fought for. I am the fruit of their labor. But I was just not the person that they ever wanted to represent a district. I was constantly asked how a Latina could ever represent a district that was 89% white. I was constantly told to drop out of the race. Rumors, harassment, all those things ensued that most women endure. Letters criticizing the way that I dressed, the red lipstick that I wore, the heels that I wore. It was just a nightmare from morning till night, every single day for a year and a half. And the biggest concern that I had was that I was the only candidate that I was constantly told to run for something else. And it seemed like the calls for me to run for something else were tied to the harassment. So if I, dropped out or chose to run for something else, I would stop being harassed. And that was the only way out of it. So my choice was to stick it to them and run, not drop out, and not endorse any of the candidates, even their Democratic nominee. And so that's what I chose to do. I went through the entire process. I was constantly harassed, told that I was going to split the vote. I didn't get any endorsements, any votes from the delegates because they were already basically told that they had to vote for the Democratic nominee, which was a Steny Hoyer handpicked candidate who was a past Republican, literally until the day that she filed to run. So it was a complete nightmare, and my story was repeated over and over again throughout the United States. Steny Hoyer very famously was recorded telling a candidate in Colorado to drop out as a progressive. We know what happened with in Florida with the Democratic Party there and the stealing the votes from Bernie. So that's kind of what we're up against. They are essentially their own company, and under the law, they can operate under those, I guess, under those pretenses as much as they want, and they don't have any obligation to apologize to us or right the wrongs. So that is the Democratic Party in a nutshell.
Shit, sorry, I was muted. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. I said sorry that you went through that, and asked you what now do you see as the answer? If electoral politics isn't the answer, what are you you're focusing now. You're still sounds like, your organization is committed to electoral politics, but you personally aren't going to enter them that way. You're going to kind of combine activism, and it sounds like you have an inside-outside strategy.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're focusing as my organization, Future Generations. We are only endorsing candidates who have been activists and organizers in their communities. Most of them have been DSA members, or they're just leftists because they don't have any other way to affiliate themselves in the regions where they live. If they're running for nonpartisan positions for like city council or boards, it is a lot easier to get these people elected, but we also need to get some excitement for local politics. It seems like most of the attention continues to go to Congress, where I believe the change is a lot slower. It's a lot more frustrating, but we can do a lot more at the local level. So that's one of the things that we're focusing on, is just making sure that the people who are running have a track record that we can verify. The work that they've been putting in, I want to make sure that they are doing for their communities before the idea of a paycheck was even a reality. So that's the candidates that we want to support. And so far, we've been really, really lucky in supporting these kind of candidates. So our slate is still very small. We only have about 7 candidates for the 2022 cycle. And the only reason why we try to keep our numbers down with our candidates is so that we can actually provide support to them rather than just becoming an endorsement machine.
Great. Well, let us know if you have any candidates. We could do a panel.
Absolutely. I will definitely hit you up for that.
Yeah. And anything else that you want to make sure we touch on?
That's it. I mean, everybody else just stay involved as much as you can and do what you're doing here, just making sure that you keep everybody accountable.
Yeah. But don't while being nice to the people on this and
Yeah,
on
but
the
be nice
screen.
to me.
On this screen. Unless I invited them on to fight with them. But I don't do that much.
No.
I'm not
No,
against
your
it.
show is hilarious, Katie. I love watching it.
Thank you. That is so nice.
And
Well,
informative.
thank you. Informative. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's great to hear. All right. Well, I'll stay on for a little bit. I'll probably watch some more of these people if you want to watch, but you probably have stuff to do. You have another person that you're helping. I can't even take care of Bodhi, my parents' dog. So shout out to you for being having an adult daughter, you said?
Basically, almost, right? She's 16, so
okay,
she's now at the point where she takes care of herself. But she's my only child, so I'm probably just a little bit more. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Is she into politics?
She's very into politics. She helps out a lot with future generations, and
nice.
We've been organizing here in Texas for a while, so she gets called all sorts of stuff. They have public Snapchats where they make our dog into a little commie dog and all sorts of things. But we just try to make the best of it and know that the mission continues. There's nothing that's going to deter us from it.
Great. Well, thank you again so much.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Fashion is not sustainable. Don't forget.
And it's not.
Yeah. We'll have to do another episode on that.
Bye, guys.
Bye. That was great, guys. Wow.